I've seen millions of bones buried right underneath churches and so many other things. But what we are going to talk about today, I think it upset me the most. Egypt built a dam to sink thousands of square miles of ancient Egyptian sites underneath water. A massive UNESCO-led effort. Between 1964 and 1968, temples in Egypt were relocated. Here we go. The Aswan High Dam was built between 1960 and 1970, right on the Nile River. This dam submerged numerous ancient Egyptian sites, a 2,030 square mile reservoir, just completely wiping out the old world's work. To be clear, they have built a dam to destroy the old world site and keep them out of our view. So we are told that they relocated temples, relocating ancient temples. When you do this, do you think something might go wrong or be changed from the original form? They're just going to move an old world temple. This is the temple that was supposedly relocated, and we're gonna blow people's minds today. This is the Abu Simbel temples, and this is where it sits today. We are told that they moved the Abu Simbel temples 656 feet inland from their original location in the 1960s. They were also raised 65 meters higher in elevation. This is insane. A complete destruction project where the relocation involved cutting the temples into over 1,000 blocks and then transporting them and reassembling them. Did you know that they did this? Did you know that this is no longer in the position that it once sat? We all know how the old world would align their structures with the stars. We now all know that this is now ruined. Take a look at this. How many of us were taught that they chopped this site up into 1,000 pieces and moved it? This is insane that they decided to construct the dam right where all the ancient structures are. Multiple times now we have shown this. It's not just in Egypt. This was a worldwide tactic to hide the old world civilization and their structures from us. This is a model of where it once sat and where it is today. The model doesn't show that these were the entrances to a massive structure that is now submerged in water. And that head was not chopped off in the original. And we know this. So this entire background structure is just like Disney World. The whole thing is fake. It's not the original. The original is underwater right in front of it. This is a picture from the 1850s in its original position. So the fact that they moved this entire thing and made a Disney version of it 600 feet away, this means that whatever is there right now that we can see cannot be fully trusted as the original. We have no idea what is missing now. We don't know what used to be there. We don't know what's been removed or what has been added. If this was a crime scene, the entire location has been tampered with, rearranging it all. What's there today is not history. It's a staged replica and extremely disappointing. Just take a look at this thing. It's clearly not the original anymore. They built that with the exact same junk that's used in Orlando over at Space Mountain. So you can see how close the water is to this site. The original, I believe, is submerged in the water right here to the left. And I guarantee this is not the only thing that's under the water from this man-made dam that they built in the 1960s. What do you think we would have seen if they didn't submerge this entire location in water? What is in the water today in Egypt that they didn't want us to see? Did you know that they did this? A fortified hilltop settlement, including a temple, while the upper parts of the Qasr Ibram remain above water as an island. Much of its lower layers and surrounding areas were submerged by the dam. The stupid dam that our current civilization built. Here's the top of this site now. This dam in Egypt is one of the most messed up things that I've seen in this research to this point. It's the most obvious destruction of the truth, our true history. This is an attack on who was once here. and what they built. The dam goes down 364 feet. This site was first excavated once again in our timeline in 1911, and they, of course, found cemeteries. There are still areas around the complex that were never excavated, and now never will be, because they were destroyed by the dam. I believe we are digging deeper than ever before, and the further that we go, it shows that they knew about these sites before we did, and they found the technology from the previous civilization. They found their artifacts, their tablets, the stories about who we are, what we're all doing here, and possibly what's to come. And then they destroyed the sites. I believe these flooded areas, they were just too hard to destroy at all. I believe they had tunnel networks. They had palaces that would possibly be more incredible than the Great Pyramids. And this is why they needed to flood it, because they couldn't just light it on fire. They needed to build a dam to submerge miles and miles of structures that would expose their false narrative. It would expose that we had a reset. And something massive happened very recently. And exactly like we have shown, this isn't just one location. There are many, in so many countries, that submerged miles of old world sites into the water and destroyed them in the 1900s. The Amada Temple was also relocated and elevated between 1964 and 1975. This is the exact years we've been talking about, even over in Turkey. But its original surrounding, context villages and cemeteries, was lost. Again, we are not seeing the actual site today. And none of this was taught to me in my history classes. I had no idea that ancient Egypt, the good stuff, is actually underwater. Under the entire dam. Under a body of water that was purposely put there in the 1900s. Because our timeline just decided to do that. Not because of natural causes. This was deliberate. Here's a photo of the Amada Temple before they moved it. The new one looks identical to the original. No. Take a look at the original. It looks like a connection for the network of tunnels. Somewhere to come out of. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 121 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. When they filled this location up with water between 1964 and 1976, it submerged an estimated 90% of all archaeological sites in ancient Egypt, including unexcavated graves. What wasn't dug up remains underwater. Graves. The previous civilization yet again. The experts, the excavators, when they'd record the structures and objects, they wouldn't count the skeletons. Human remains were often just noted because they were all over this place, and they still are today. They're just under the water. This is a massive burial site, and we know this. We have seen this. Necropolises all over the world. And again, I would bet that they have 6 fingers and 6 toes. I would bet that most of them did not look like us. And this is a massive reason they needed to fill it with water. If you're interested in this, I'll say it again. You need to go watch episode 113 after this. With over 1,000 sites surveyed. Over 1,000 sites now underneath the lake. Cemeteries, settlements, fortresses, temples, and rock inscriptions. They literally just built a dam and covered over 1,000 sites with water within the last 100 years. And nobody said anything. So why don't we all just go in there and investigate today? Let's get a scuba team together and go down there. Well, guess what? You can't. Restricted access to archaeological zones, like Lake Nasser. Lake Nasser is governed by the Antiquities Protection Law, all to prevent looting, damage, or disturbance. They are protecting against us? They think that we're gonna go in there and damage it? Damaging it. Who's the one that actually damaged over 1,000 sites? Who destroyed it all with a massive amount of water in the 1960s and 1970s? Who did this? Was it us? No, Egypt's government did this. And then they turn around and they won't even let you go in the water and go see what's down there because they think that you're gonna go damage it. This is insane. Over 1,000 flooded sites from ancient Egypt, like temples, cemeteries, and fortresses, are considered protected heritage. Diving to explore them without a permit from the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, or the Supreme Council of Antiquities, would violate these regulations. Permits are rarely, if ever, issued to tourists. This man-made lake is monitored by Egyptian authorities, including police and military. Off limits to the public. And I wonder why. Off limits to the public, just like we've shown in episode 107, 109, and episode 114. Over 1,000 ancient Egyptian sites submerged in hundreds of feet of water on purpose. And then all of us, we are restricted from diving to investigate. The more restriction that is put on a site, the more walls that are put up, or in this case, water, the more it makes you wonder, what is down there that they don't want us to see? The more they try to hide something, the bigger the treasure. And we know this. A dam is not what we thought it was. It's literally a destruction project. Hundreds of cemeteries were flooded. These contained invaluable artifacts like pottery. Of course, nobody cares about the pottery anymore. We don't want to see it. It's all fake, and it was made in some warehouse. Jewelry and human remains. We know they had texts. They found tablets, and they found the Nephilim, all buried in this location. Again, go watch episode 113 after this. You'll understand exactly why I keep saying 6 fingers and 6 toes. 1,000 sites currently underwater in ancient Egypt. I can't get over this. What was submerged? A massive city is submerged. The city of Aniba, sitting in the heart of the region that is flooded by Lake Nasser, where they just gave it all away. A necropolis, a massive cemetery with rock-cut tombs for Egyptian viceroys and local Nubian elites. The Nephilim, stretching over a kilometer, a massive burial site. Again, submerging it all, submerging 50 acres and the entire city. Are you kidding me right now? How can we ever possibly look at ancient Egypt the same ever again? Its history is completely shredded forever now. Possibly the most incredible stuff was purposely destroyed and submerged underwater in the 1960s and 1970s. And nobody's talked about this ever since. This is shocking. The UNESCO did a terrible job. If their job was to save the old world's work, they did a great job of doing the complete opposite, where the UNESCO partially explored Aniba before it was flooded, uncovering tombs, artifacts, and so much more. Why didn't they save it? It wasn't relocated because of its size. The whole town, where the water rose faster than the excavation could keep up. Only select artifacts were salvaged. The rest was left to the lake. Who did this? Who went in there and destroyed ancient Egypt and got away with it? Should we keep going? Let's thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everyone who likes the episodes. You are all awesome. We are growing this community every single week. Brand new people are now seeing this information because of all of you. We are on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify. The fortress walls, temple ruins, residential streets, and hundreds of tombs are now underwater. Who is responsible for this? Who decided that over 1,000 ancient Egyptian sites needed to be underwater? Who did this? Gamal Abdel Nasser, Egypt's president. He was the mastermind and final decision maker. Nasser launched the High Dam project after the 1952 coup. He approved the construction in 1960, fully knowing that it would flood the 1,000 Old World sites. And he died in 1970, right after the dam's completion. There is over 1,000 sites from ancient Egypt that are now submerged here. The true history of ancient Egypt is underneath that water. This is unbelievable, including Buhin, a kingdom fortress with 5-meter thick walls, a military hub. This is now underwater today. All of this, a massive castle in ancient Egypt, a Christian cathedral, as well as hundreds of cemeteries, just like we said. All of it is now underwater. This is a clear destruction project, 20 years from start to finish. And the weirdest part, and to give it all away, that we are of course correct, they could have built the dam somewhere else. They chose to do this and destroy ancient Egypt with options upstream. The Nile south of Aswan had other spots for a dam. There were multiple options, and they chose to destroy our past with this stupid dam, sinking our true history forever. Over 1,000 ancient sites, gone. They're buried beneath hundreds of feet of water and wiped off the map in a deliberate effort to hide the old world. Temples, a staged replica. The Amada Temple, ripped from its true location. The lost city of Aniba, it's all flooded before excavation could even finish. They found it and wiped it off our map. They could have built the dam in other locations. They didn't have to build it here. They chose to build it there. They chose to submerge the old world's work, their cities, and then they locked it down. No diving, no exploring, all off limits to the public. So what did they find there before the flood? What is still down there? Graves, fortresses, tombs, and I believe something much bigger. Something that would shatter the mainstream historical narrative in a second. I believe the real history of Egypt isn't in the textbooks. It's underwater. And the deeper that we dig, the clearer that it gets. And this isn't just Egypt. Again, this is worldwide. A worldwide cover-up. We're exposing it all, and we are just getting started.